Prepare to be captivated by the business story of the week, hosted by me, Shaheen Shan. Join us on a journey through the twists and turns of entrepreneurial triumphs and setbacks. Immerse yourself in the narrative and witness the magic that turns dreams into reality. This is Business Story of the Week.
All right, welcome to another episode of Business Story of the Week. I don't know if you guys like eating meat. I do. This week on our show, we don't have anybody that farms meat, which we will in time. We've got two guys that are going to be revolutionizing a niche within a niche. And that's why I think it's super interesting. I invited them on. They're two local guys here in Southern California doing some really interesting work. Today, we are bringing the dynamic duo behind the True Board, Matt Scott and Johnny Fraser Rigneri. Matt originally is from Montana, one of the great meat country parts of the United States, and now he's thriving in Southern California. He's a family man. He's got a diverse and very impressive background. He was in the medical device industry for years, and he's not just a savvy business professional, but this guy's put out a series of children's books. He is dedicated family man and really one of these guys who's advocating the most from a lot of guys that I've seen for positivity and success. His entrepreneurial spirit shines through in his commitment to sustainability, especially seen in his work with his Kingdom Outdoor Living, where he's big on solar and sustainability and all that stuff. And just one of these guys who's trying to make the world a better place and improving it one product, one service at a time. Joining him is his partner, Johnny Fraser Rigneri, who not only is the winner of today's Power Mustache contest, which I like. He's an Indiana University alum. He's been an actor. Johnny's had a journey from the limelight of entertainment industry, and I'm sure he'll tell us about that, to the world of carpentry. Fascinating. I love carpentry. I'm actually such a nerd with carpentry. I watch all the Instagram carpentry shows where the guys are building tables and doing all that crazy stuff, even though I couldn't put a nail through a piece of wood if someone paid me. I love watching other people do it. And construction is another thing that he's been big in. His skills are honed from being brought up on a farm and influenced by a grandparent that led him to finding JF Designs, which is his company. And together, him and Matt also have a company called Kingdom Outdoor Living. Some really, really nice stuff. Together, Matt and Johnny have brought together the True Board. This, guys, is... And I am in no way affiliated with the True Board. I'm just telling you guys that I am a fan. The guys were kind enough to send me a couple of these things. And man, I got to tell you, my meat experience has never been the same after I got these things. And in fact, I'm worried because as I collect real estate and buy homes all over the country and all over the world, I think to myself, man, now how am I gonna get these houses without having to get a True Board for every house? So it's become an essential part of my kitchen. I like grilling. I love meat. So these guys they've got a love for cooking. They've got a love for fine craftsmanship. And this is just a testament to their creativity and a strategic partnership that's really trying to redefine a sustainable niche within a niche. So guys, welcome to the show. It's great to have you.
I can start.
Go ahead.
Quite literally, like all innovation, it was born in frustration. Okay. So I'm an avid barbecuer, entertainer. I like to do a lot of roasts, of course, with meat. And I'm in my backyard and you put the meat on a cutting board, the juice is running to the left. Okay. And even when it runs to the left, it goes into the juice grooves that everybody can get today, fills up the juice grooves, overflows, runs onto the floor. The other problem is, you bring it in, you bring your board inside, and all the juice is in the groove. And today everybody's eating, off a kitchen island, or they're serving at different times, and your meat gets dried out. Not only that, there's no way to get the juice out of the groove to redistribute it to the meat, either back on the board or on the plate. And so I found myself flicking the meat, the juice out of the groove. I used turkey basters. I used brushes. It was stupid. So I'm like, this is the dumbest. And I got, I had a top of the line cutting board, and I said, this is dumb. So Johnny, Johnny's a craftsman. He's a master craftsman. It's really incredible to watch this guy. But I just asked him, I said, do you think we could build something here that we can unlevel this thing? So when I'm in the backyard, I can level it this way. When I'm inside, I can level it this way. And ultimately it worked. He added some innovation by, changing the juice groove so it also flows down into a collection bowl. And to be quite honest, it's simple, and it fixes a problem that everybody experiences. And I tell you, the number one comment that we get is, why hasn't somebody done this before? And so, long story short, I started entertaining, and people were like, I want one. So we started making more, and we had nothing but positive reviews, and we started selling them and got into the hundreds, and we decided to, get real about it. And so we had an idea that people really loved, and it fixed a problem, and we were ready to do it. And Johnny is extremely capable, and it just worked. And through all that, it was fun making the name. And I tell you what, we're learning everything from podcasting to lawyers to contracts to starting a business to web design to packaging to warehousing to all the stuff that you have to learn as a entrepreneur. It was a lot. And so here we are today on the front of a big launch. So we're really excited, and we know we have alignments with a whole bunch of industries for a lot of good reasons. And like I said, all we got to do is show the product and let them know we're fixing the problem, and we do it with quality wood and quality craftsmanship. It's just fun. It's fun to see people react to it.
Yeah, so it's interesting. I think we were talking before the show, and I was talking to Johnny over there, and we were talking about that. And I think one of the interesting things, look, for years, I've been in the world of producing physical things. And I saw Amazon rise. I saw the rise of Walmart.com. I saw that, particularly in this country, a lot of the times it becomes a race to the bottom. So people come to me. I'm one of the foremost Amazon experts in the country. We've got an agency where we represent top brands, Fortune 50, Fortune 500 companies, and their entire product lines on Amazon. And I've got a course, which anybody's interested is FBAsellercourse.com. Reach out to me if you're interested in selling on Amazon. But in my course, people come to me, students always come to me, and they're like, look, man, I want to sell this thing. I want to sell that thing. But I looked at it and I just can't compete. There's no margin left for me, right? Someone's making it in China for, 50 cents less than my cost. How am I going to do this? And I tell them this. The answer is you go the other direction. You don't go race to bottom. Like I was discussing with Johnny, you go after the high end. There are always going to be people with money, and what do they want? They want the best. They want they don't want the $190 made in China fridge. They want the Sub-Zero. They want the $5,000 gas range with the name Wolf on it, because people are going to come over and they're going to see that, and it's a status symbol. But plus, they want quality. They want things that work and things that last. Plus, they understand that low price sometimes is a false economy. And I think it's really funny. I was telling my kid, my kid wanted to buy, I don't know what it was, Ziploc bags or something, right? And he's like, hey, Dad, we'll just go to the dollar store or whatever. I'm like, no, go to Costco. He's like, yeah, but Dad, at Costco is $30. I'm like, yeah, but look at how many you get and look at the quality of that. And you compare it with the dollar store is really expensive, really, really expensive compared to Costco. So what you guys have decided to do, in a manner of speaking, is going against the grain. Now, how much do your products retail for?
They are the large boards at 289.
Okay.
Um,
So
so here
you're
you have here
selling
you
it.
have a teak cutting board that's 18 inches by 24. That's an inch and a half thick. You can get online and find boards for upwards of $500, but you're not getting what we have. You're not getting the handles. You're not getting adjustable feet. You're not getting a tray. You're not getting a cork. You're not getting the juice grooves that are tapered at the front, and you're not going to get sustainable teak with all those elements put together. And then you can get it on, get it engraved as well. Um, you're right. The thing is that we're not creating a bamboo board that you can go out and buy three for $25.95 and have it delivered to your door the next day, right? We're giving you something that should last a lifetime. But your average 20-year-old isn't going to go out and buy the $300 cutting board unless they have something in the bank account, because they haven't learned that yet. They haven't learned the value of the dollar. They want to buy the cheap board because that's what they can afford. Until they realize that board breaks and they put it in the dishwasher a couple of times, which you should never do, and it warps and it cracks and it's done, and then they go out and buy another one. So how many cutting boards do they collect? How many do they have by the time they're 30? How much money? It's the same thing with vacuum cleaners. Any one of those things you can buy. You can buy them cheap, and they last you a year or two, and then they're done. So we created something that hopefully it's on the higher end, certainly on the higher end. But people are gonna look at that and say, okay, I cook, I barbecue, I eat meat. You don't have to eat meat to love it. You can use it as a charcuterie board. You can use it to put pineapple on. I don't care what you do with the juice, but you're going to buy and cook a higher end meal for your family, and you're going to want to spend a little bit more money for that, right? Because at that point, you probably have better knives. So you're
Yeah.
going to want to have something that's not only sustainable, but that is going to last a lifetime, and you don't have to replace it ever.
So how do you guys partner? So like I'm a big fan, I know as you guys are, Joe Rogan, right? And we all watch Joe Rogan. We love that whole, he goes out there and he hunts elk and he comes home. And Rogan promotes a bunch of different things. He promotes the green egg thing, but he's been a big advocate of these things, these Traeger grills, right? And I had no idea how much these things go for, but these are like 4 grand. You're dropping 4K with tax and delivery and everything. You're dropping 4K on one of these things.
Well,
So if I'm dropping $4,000 on a Traeger grill to serve people the best possible cooked meat that I could possibly serve them, I'm gonna want to present it on the best possible board.
sure.
How do you
Yeah,
guys
let's
create?
let's be clear. I have a Traeger. I have one of the original Traegers, and I think my
Yeah.
wife probably paid $2,500 for it. It's a big one. I can do a full pig on it. Uh, you're not going to spend that much on a Traeger. Even the brand new Traegers are probably $3,500, but you're still spending a decent amount of money on a barbecue, and certainly on a smoker. Whether it's an egg or a Traeger or a Rectech, there's a number of them out there that are quality. But you're right. You want to put, if you get a nice bison brisket and you're going to spend $160 on a brisket to serve 15 people, you don't want to put it on a bamboo board. I'm sorry. You don't want to put it on a big honking maple board that has tiny little juice groups and it's got mold on the bottom because it's been sitting on your counter for a long time. We can go all through all the details about what's wrong with most cutting boards and why ours are superior. But yeah, you want to put a nice piece of meat on a beautiful board, and with those handles, and you can serve it on the table. You don't have to cut it up and leave it out on the picnic table, and then put it on a different serving platter to bring it into the to serve to the family. So, um,
So, yeah, I want to add that if I can. Our slogan that we have is "Raise it up." Of course, the true board means true, right? So you can true something to a level position that's functional, right? Our tagline is "Raise it up," and we can add that to anything within the realm that we're moving into. But this thing is certainly a centerpiece of the table, right? From straight from the barbecue, straight to the table, straight to the kitchen island, whatever it is, and it's a centerpiece, and it's beautiful. It functions, and now it's a centerpiece of conversations. We like to say it raises up the conversation, because I tell you what, whenever we have people over, or whenever I do, and I've heard it a hundred times, people talk about it. Like, what is this thing? This is awesome. I love this. And we didn't mention too. There's a magnets on the side that hold your knife. It's not in the video animation yet, but it keeps your knife out of the mess. And so the quality of this thing raises up the conversation. And like you say, when you're into that kind of quality, it's exactly what you want to put your presentation on. And then you want to maximize your efforts by keeping the meat moist. Johnny hates that word. Uh, but
Really, my wife is like that. I don't know why she can't take the word. Is that a real thing?
Drives
yeah,
me
so
bananas. It's the only thing we can't get over. We can't get around it.
I can't come up with a different word though, man. I've been trying.
You
It's
want
like
to put the juice
Juicy.
back on your meat.
you want to put the juice back on the meat. Either
I
it's on
can't
the
even
plate.
say it. It's like.
So no, but I tell you, man, it's a raised up conversation with the raised up centerpiece that'll be in your family for years. It's made out of teak. It's going to last forever. I mean, cutting board. I've talked to guys who are like, oh, I got my grandpa's cutting board. You know, it's been around forever, and you go look at it, and it's thunking on the table. You know, because it's warped. Thunk, thunk, thunk. They keep it around for sentimental, but the reality is on our board, if it works, which it probably won't likely, certainly as much as maple because it's teak, but you just spin a wheel on it and the thunk's out, right? You're on an unlevel surface, you spin a wheel, you're level. You got a big turkey and juice flowing everywhere.
So
You
the
got a
cool
collection.
thing, this whole thing really just happened organically. We're going to take it back for a minute. So Matt and I are in his backyard cooking a barbecue, and he turns to me, after the dogs lapped up half the juice, it's ended up on the floor, and he says, "You're a wood guy. Can you figure this out?" I mean, that's the essence of where this thing started. You're a wood guy. Can you figure this out? Right. So I spent like 6 hours on the internet that night, and I was researching everything that's out there for cutting boards, and we go on this for hours in terms of what do you when you're designing something, when you're trying to figure out how something works and how to make something better, you need to find out what's on the market, and it's really difficult. I mean, like anything these days, trying to find something online on the internet, it's really difficult to find the truth. So cutting forward to, we've done some prototypes. We've figured out that we can put these adjustable feet on the bottom. That's really awesome. We can taper the juice groove. We can collect the juice. We can put a tray underneath. However, that we arrived at our final design. But the one thing that I kept finding a problem with is you got your tri-tip on there, and I realize that's predominantly a cut from California. But when you understand how beef is cut up in the different parts and roasts, you got to let it rest and get the juice going. It starts to flow, and you're like, wait a minute, which way do I turn these feet? So I ended up putting an arrow in the beginning. I mean, it was just like a hand carved arrow on the board, so you always knew to spin them clockwise. That evolved into this. Now this it's really our it's who we are. It's raise it up, and it's to raise the board up. It's which way you raise the board up. But if you want to give thanks, whatever that means to you, right? Raise it up. That's what's on our board, and it's on the surface of every board, and there's a reason for that. It started out functional, right?
Yeah.
Now
There's a lot of
it's really our slogan.
Yeah, I like the slogan. I like your logo, which leads me to one of my last questions for you guys. Is so you guys are selling this high-end cutting board, and presumably you guys know that what you're not selling is the board. What you're selling is the story and the brand, right? And so that brand is going to start gaining an audience as you guys get more and more known as the leaders in this particular niche. People who have $300 plus or minus to pay for a board are going to be looking for other stuff. They're going to be looking for barbecues. They're going to be looking for grills. They're going to be looking for knives. They're going to be looking for this other stuff. How do you decide when you guys are going to branch out? I know your logo alone has a knife in it. And I remember asking you guys, man, do you guys sell a knife with this? And you guys were like, no, not yet. When you decide to expand out into other verticals and to sell other things to increase the amount of revenue that you get per sale?
I mean, the question is when. We're going to prove the concept with the basic model now. We have a lot of ideas to add to it, but we're going to prove the concept, push it out there. We're going to align with meat industries and different other avenues for this thing, but I don't know when. Right now we're getting packaging delivered.
Well, if I may, we're doing it right now. I mean, the fact of the matter is, and you made a clear point, we're aligning ourselves with the beef industry, and we're not knife makers. I'm not a butcher. I don't make barbecues, but I install them. We build beautiful backyards with Kingdom Outdoor Living. I know a lot about barbecues. I've been doing it for a long time. we will align ourselves with different industries, and we'll do cross marketing with these guys. Montana Knife Company, Traeger certainly reach out, and we'll go to guys like Joe Rogan. We'll go to the different podcasts that are successful, and go to all the different subscription meat companies, whether it's Stay Classy Meats, whether you got Wild Idea, you got Carter Meats in Wyoming, you got Wild Idea Buffalo up in South Dakota. You got all these incredible opportunities to get great meat. You got great packaging out there for everything that you need that goes along with our board. So we want to work to help improve the message, because the messaging is what's really getting hurt. There's a massive amount of money in Washington D.C. that's saying you need to eat fake meat, you need to eat plant-based stuff, and I'm sorry, I'm not down with it. It's lies, in my opinion. We can get into politics. We should probably do that on another show. Yep. But eating quality meats and having quality knife products. We are designing a magnetic knife block, which I've got a couple prototypes in the shop right now. There's a number of little things that we'll add that naturally kind of fit in with the cutting board. But in terms of these other products, it's going to be, we're going to help each other out, and we've already got these things in the process right now, which is pretty exciting.
I love it. And I love that you guys own it. You know what your message is, you know where you stand, and it's so hilarious, right? So like one of my favorite things to do for years and years, right? So I am a student of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I trained mixed martial arts for years. So after Jiu-Jitsu, a bunch of us always go and get some Brazilian barbecue, right? Brazilians do meat really, really well. They overcook it. I gotta tell you guys, they overcook it, but they do it really well. So you gotta ask for it.
Great flavor.
You gotta ask for it super rare to get it medium rare. That's fine. So lately, I've been going down to my Brazilian place, and they introduced pineapple. And I looked at the manager. I'm like, dude, what's up? Pineapple? Like pineapple? And he's like, well, for the vegans. I'm like, man, you guys are losing it. I'm like, you bring one more vegetable into this place, I'm gonna have to find a new place, man, because I was vegan vegetarian for 15 years back in the 90s, and it was the single worst thing I ever did in my life. And we're gonna make a lot of vegans mad on this show, and look, however you eat, however you live your life, I believe in live and let live. You're just wrong. And I remember I was out of the country, and my only choice was to starve. I was in Turkey, in Istanbul, or to eat this amazing kebab that they were just making there on the street, and it was steaming and it was cold, and I was just like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna eat the kebab. And I remember eating it. It was my first taste of meat in 15 years. The whole day I was high. I mean, everything changed. I was like, what have I done with my life? This is insane. So I think probably a lot of vegans will change with their first bite of good grass-fed.
I think that's important, but I think the message is where it's getting lost. And even for vegans, like I know, believe me, out here in California, I know plenty, but they're unhealthy vegans. Like, you can't just go to the grocery store and pick up vegetables. You got to get organically grown, non-GMO. You got to watch where it's coming from, how it's packaged, processed. It's crap, and you're feeding yourself crap. It's the same thing with meat. Grass-finished beef and feedlot grain-finished is completely different. Let's be honest. Be completely honest. And that's the message. You want to talk heart attack? Go eat a bunch of grain-fed beef your whole life. You're eating the grain, right?
Yeah.
So vegans, pay attention to what you're eating, because I don't think you're eating really healthy.
There's no passion here.
Come to the meat side,
there'll
be a lot.
There's no passion.
I'm with you. I'd still rather do that than just veggies, I'll tell you.
Right?
It's like
100%. But there's nothing wrong with a good grilled pineapple, but it goes great with steak. I'm just saying.
Come on over. I'll slice up.
Chop it up and put it in a pico de gallo. Come on.
You know what else goes great with steak? More steak.
Exactly. And the
guys.
juice. You don't want to lose the juice. That's what's great about True Board. Get the juice back on your meat to make it what, Matt?
I ain't gonna say it.
Say it.
Nice and moist. We're gonna make it nice and moist for you, Johnny.
There you go, guys. All right, gentlemen. Guys, this is wrapping up our show. Thank you so much to Matt and Jonathan to be on. Guys, if you want to get a True Board or at least check them out, or if you have some marketing ideas, if you have some partnership ideas, these guys are assembled in America. These are two all-American dudes really trying to bring production of stuff back to the country, make it look right, doing things high quality, high grade, sustainable, using some of the best quality materials. If you have ideas for them, these are two guys that are open to it. If you have collaborations, partnerships, you name it, reach out to the guys. You can get them on thetrueboard.com. True spelled True. So it's TheTrueboard.com. Get them on there. Guys, if people want to partner with you, collab with you, order your boards, what's the best way for people to find you?
Yeah, definitely online. I mean, it's the emails are easy. I mean, it's Matt@thetrueboard.com and Johnny@thetrueboard.com. But certainly the website will get us there first. We're on Facebook. We're on. We're about ready to do Instagram and LinkedIn and all these things. But definitely Facebook was our first avenue. But yeah, we'd love to hear from you guys. I mean, it's really fun. You know, even we're thinking about putting a competition together for people to send in, you know, pictures of their creations, you know, on our board and have a contest or something, because you know it's beautiful, right? We all know it's beautiful, and everybody works hard, and it's just fun to share. So we'll get that going here soon. But in the meantime, the website's there, and we're rocking and rolling. Like you said, it's. We have a whole bunch of interest to help others and do what we do. So I think Johnny said it great.
I love that. I love that. All right. Well, thank you so much, guys. That's actually, by the way, a brilliant way of marketing and advertising. And it's something that actually was forerun by Gillette. For you guys that don't know, Gillette did there was a period of time, if you remember, where all the hipsters were going on and beards were coming back and everybody was growing their beards and mustaches and dudes weren't shaving anymore, not really. And so Gillette, one of the most incredible businesses like ever anywhere, was seeing a reduction in sales. So what did they do? They hired one of the top ad agencies in the country. And what they came up with was, show us how you shave, show us how you Gillette, and send in any competitor's blades, and we'll send you brand new fresh Gillette blades. And you just got to make a video and put it online. And they did that, and it increased their sales, I think, 20-30%, which is massive when you're doing the hundreds of millions that they're doing. So I would love to see you guys do this, right? So how do you get rid of your cutting board and get yourself a real one, get yourself a true board? I'd love to see that. Or even a competition, right? The person who, uses it the best for the year maybe gets a free one or gets a discount. But that's a great way to promote, because you just get people producing content and putting it out there. But we have long passed our time. And I want to thank you guys for being on the show. Appreciate you guys for being on. Love to get you guys on again sometime later in the year for maybe we'll do a longer form show. And really appreciate you guys.
Appreciate thanks, Shaheen. We appreciate it too, man. Good luck to you, man, and looking forward to seeing more from you.
All right, you guys. And this show has been a production of the Podcast Cola Network. If you like the show and want to be on podcasts similar to this, or interested in being a featured guest on any of the 8 million podcasts out there, make sure you check out Podcast Cola.
All right, so here's the thing. We try to get a little bit better every day, but we can't do it without you. So if you like the video, make sure to like and subscribe below. And if you have any comments, just leave them in the space under.